Hey there, it's Joe with Sonic Disruptive. This is my top 20 favorite albums of the year in a particular order. I'm going to count them 20, the worst of the best to the best of the best. And here we go. This is just my favorites. These are the albums that I keep going back to. I have a ruling here now that if an album, no matter how innovative it is, if it doesn't compel me to go back and listen to it on repeat, it can't be on this list. So that's the ruling, and that's what I'm sticking with. So let's just get right into this. At number 20, New Horizon, Gate of the Gods. What is that? What the hell is New Horizon? Okay, so that is what Eric Gronwell did before he joined Skid Row. It is kind of a throwback, power metal, neoclassical, kind of speed metal-y project, and it is so good. There's nothing new. There's no new riffs. I've heard every riff, every melody line, and every chord progression in that album, and I still love it and want to go back and listen to it again and again and pump your fist and sing along with every single chorus. That's what I'm talking about. Same kind of thing here with number 19, and that is Live Wire. And Under Attack, Australian speed metal band, throwback, definitely, and it just feels good. Along a similar lines, but not quite, Bloody Heels, Rotten Romance is number 18. At its heart, they are a kind of 80s inspired hard rock band, yes, but there's a lot of doom aspects to it, a lot of gothic rock vibe, and definitely some metal infusion, and definitely some surprises along the way. Excellent songwriting and a great album. Next up is Sai Shiki. It's Sai, it's abstract, it's weird, it's loony, and it is beautiful. See, this is where the two come together. The abstract sometimes can be unlistenable, and in this case they make the abstract very listenable, and they make you want to go back and repeat listening to this. This is a beautiful album. I love it. Next up we have Lost in Kiev, Rupture. This for the most part is an instrumental album. There's vocals on one or two tracks, and it's just beautiful, ambient kind of, but very lush and very impressive instrumental numbers. Beautiful guitar work throughout this whole thing. It's fantastic. Next up is One Leg Man, Italian prog metal. One Leg Man, Event Horizon is the album, and this is, they are as talented as Dream Theater, but I think more broad, and they can do more, and I think their hooks are much bigger. The hooks and the choruses here are huge, and it makes for a really entertaining experience to have all that prog, and then you get to these choruses that are just very, very huge and hooky. It's fantastic. It's great. It really is. Next up, we're going to go with Venom Prison, Erebos. This is a beautiful and complex album, and it is just, the vocals here are tremendous. Everything on this album is perfection. Love it. Next up, we are going to go with Hypermass, Imprian, and okay, this is an upstart band, a Swedish band, I believe. Melodic death metal, kind of death metal is where you'd put them, but there's a very progressive side to them, and they really take things into different directions, and it's just entertaining. It's fun, and this is a great listen. I love this album. From the first time I listened to it, it just hooked me, and that's what it takes to be a great album. Now, let's go with what is up next. I think I lost my place. Speaking of great guitars, Halo Effect, Days of Lost. It sounds like classic melodic death metal, as it should because of the members, and yet it still sounds fresh and vital. Great album. Just fantastic all the way. Then we got Moontooth, Phototroph. Okay, no other band sounds like Moontooth. They are completely original. They have their own sound, their own style, and it's just, this is what happens when true talent meets true heart. You get something like this. If you're not listening to Moontooth, you're making poor life decisions. Yeah. Now we have, okay, now this is not a genre of music I particularly enjoy normally, because I feel it's soulless, and that's tech death metal. You know, the technicality is off the charts, musicianship is crazy good, but usually the songs are crap, I think. And this, Catalyst, Painting for a New World, I really enjoy. I think it's got some really strong songs and some, the playing is mind-blowing, and it's technical as all hell, but there's also heart and soul to it, and I really enjoy that. Next up, we're going to go with Voivod, Synchro Anarchy, and Voivod are another one of those bands. Voivod have created their own genre. It's Voivod, and you hear the name and you know what you're going to get, and they keep getting better with every album. Impressive to be able to come up with all those bizarre, crazy riffs again and again and again and not sound like every other album they put out. It doesn't. It sounds fresh and it sounds great, and this is a fantastic album. Now we're going to go with, where are we going? Conjurer. Pathos. Dark, brooding, pain, crushing, beautiful, and heart-wrenching. Such a fantastic album. Yeah. Then we go Wake, Thought Form Descent. Sorry, I forgot the name of it. Whatever. Wake is the name of the band. And the album is, it feels like you're being chased into a dark cave by an unknown creature, and yet along the way, along your trip into hell, you're finding these glorious moments of sheer beauty, and that's what this album is. Fantastic listen. Don't pass up on it. White Ward, False Light is the next choice. Whatever number we're at, I don't even know. I hope it's 20. I counted them, and it should be. Okay, this album is beautiful. Beautiful, bizarre, ambient, crushing at times, but just, it's a mind trip, and the horns on here are so good. I love that it's not just a gimmick. It's throughout the entire album. Every song incorporates this beautiful melodic horn thing, and it's a fantastic album. It really truly is. All right, now we're getting up into the top echelon here, unless I missed something. Hopefully not, but now we're going to go with Zeal Arter. This is their self-titled album, and man, blending genres is nothing new, but being able to do it so well and so authentically, two polar opposite genres, by the way, and to be able to meld these together into creating these amazing songs is incredible. The performances here are great. His voice is so good on whatever he's singing, and it's so original. I love this album. You can listen to it over and over again, and I do often. Now we're going to go with an album and a band. Okay, this band's not metal. Nope. The album's not metal. The album's not even particularly heavy for their stand. They're based on their previous albums. It's not even particularly heavy. But that's King's X, Three Sides of One. This album sounds like no other King's X album, and yet it sounds just like King's X because they, again, have their own unique sound that cannot be replicated. And it's all over this album. All those harmonies, the beautiful crushing guitar chords, all the beautiful melodies, all of that greatness, all the brilliant songwriting is all throughout this album, and it's essential King's X. It's one of the best. It truly is. I love the album. Now, Psychonaut, the new Psychonaut is next up. Number 3, if I'm not mistaken. That's pretty high, and that came out very recently. Oh, it's just mind-bending. Mind-bending and crunching and beautiful and all the things I say about everything else, but this is just that to another degree. It's just, it weaves this musical texture and just puts you in this hypnotic state, and it's just hypnotizing. Love that album. So good. Brings us to number 2. Number 2 is where we're at, and that is Soilwork, Overheatin' Hatin'. Such a monumental album. I've seen some people not like it as much, and I don't understand why. I don't know what's wrong with you. What's wrong with you? What is wrong with you if you don't love this album? This album is fantastic. The writing on here, the performances, everything is spectacular. The late, great David Anderson had a lot to do with the writing of this album, and it just shines throughout. Oh, God. The vocals, they're just, boom. Everything here is just next level goodness, and it's just, it's complex and yet straightforward at the same time, however that works. It's melodic, is the most melodic album you may ever hear, and it's just, it's heart-wrenching, and I love that album so damn much. And speaking of heart-wrenching, another beautiful album that I love so much, number 1, Disillusion. I am, ooh, this album, man, Disillusion. Everything, this is pure perfection. It's one of the best albums ever in the history of albums, in the history of music. It's that good. It's unbelievable. Just every moment, every single moment, it's like you hear it and you're like, that is perfection. Every little breath, every little space in between the notes, everything here is perfection. It puts you into this world, and you do not dare leave it until the album's done. This is one of those you have to listen to the whole album. I don't care. It just sucks you in. You hear the first thing and it's like, God, and you got to keep going deeper and deeper and deeper into this beautiful mess. And it is gorgeous. If you haven't listened to that album, do yourself a favor. If you are any type of fan of any progressive metal, progressive rock, this is a must listen. It is fantastically beautiful. And I hope I've said enough superlatives about that album. So there you are. That's my top 20. What are your favorite albums? Yeah, what are they? Let me know. There are plenty I missed, and there's some big ones that people are going to be like this, and this, and this, and I just didn't find them to be that. Okay, quickly. I don't want to take much. Like Imperial Triumphant, way up on many people's lists. And I really appreciate the musicianship and the exploration of them, but I don't find the songs great. I don't find it to be really redeeming to listen to it on repeat, you know? I don't find it one that you can go back to often. It's just a particular little slice of a mood, and when you're in that space, yeah, it does great, but it's so rare, and that's why I can't put it on an end. Like I said, I appreciate the hell out of the statement and the musicality of it. I do. But I can't say that the songs on there are killer. Can't do it. Won't do it. No. Okay, anyway, that's all. Thank you very much for watching. See ya.